from the El Nino ravaged 2023-2024 summer season. The private sector has imported 974,658 metric tons of maize, wheat and wheat flour since the 1st of April 2024, and the government of Zimbabwe has also imported 39,916 metric tons of maize. The total strategic grain reserve stock stands at 244,296 metric tons. Pertaining to the ongoing food deficit mitigation program, cumulatively, the government of Zimbabwe has distributed 197,628.796 metric tons of grain to feed the food insecure households since February 2024. Additionally, the government of Zimbabwe has also distributed 17,421 metric tons of mealie to schools under the emergency schools feeding program since the beginning of the third term, with a view of ensuring learners get a decent meal on each school day. Regarding the 2024 winter wheat production, a record wheat crop has been harvested to date. As at 1 November 2024, about 106,238 hectares had been harvested, giving a total of 518,502 metric tons of wheat, surpassing the 465,546 metric tons achieved in 2023. To date, 75,000 metric tons of wheat has been delivered to the Grain Marketing Board. The remarkable performance of the winter wheat production program attests to the foresight, planning and organizational capacity of His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. Harvesting is proceeding utilizing over 291 configured combined harvesters and more than 550,000 metric tons of wheat is expected. The 2024-2025 summer season plan aims to increase production of cereals to 3,274,000 metric tons against the 744,271 metric tons obtained during the 2023-2024 summer season. The overall production volumes of major crops are expected to increase by 347% from a mere 915,000 metric tons to over 4 million metric tons. The production target for cereals is 3.3 million metric tons, while that for pulses is 819,000 metric tons. Under the Presidential Input Scheme, 91% of the targeted 9.5 million plots have been prepared by 86% of the targeted 3.5 million households. All beneficiaries will receive 50% of their inputs by the 24th of November 2024. The government of Zimbabwe has adopted additional measures to curb the abuse of inputs. The measures include the blacklisting of any official involved in the input abuse scandals, the banning of ward committees involved in inputs abuse, and implementing an improved standard operating procedure with raw clarity. The National Enhanced Agricultural Productivity Scheme will establish a total of 52,500 hectares under maize, soybean, traditional grains, and sunflower, with a target to produce 256,000 metric tons. The private sector is also undertaken to fund establishment of 95,046 hectares of maize, soybeans, potatoes, sugar beans, and sunflower. The other facility will plant 100,000 hectares under maize and 50,000 hectares of traditional grains. The private sector support for cotton targets 418,000 farmers to plant 270,000 hectares under cotton. The target tobacco production for the 2024-2025 season is 300 million kilograms, and to date over 117,000 growers have been registered. Cabinet considered and approved the proposed public-private partnership project between the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development and a private company on the upgrading, construction, and tolling of the Harare-Nyamapanda Road and the Nyamapanda border post, as presented by the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Honorable Professor Mthuli Ncube. Cabinet advises that the joint venture is on the upgrading, construction, and tolling of the Harare-Nyamapanda Road and the Nyamapanda border post through a build, operate, and transfer model. In terms of the agreement, the special purpose vehicle will hold equity in the project and facilitate the flow of funds between the various stakeholders. The Harare-Nyamapanda special purpose vehicle will be based in Zimbabwe, will be responsible for the design, construction, and maintenance of the road and the border post infrastructure. The Harare-Nyamapanda tolling SPV will be tasked with the collection of toll charges from road users, which will be utilized to service the project's debt and generate returns for equity. The project will be fully funded by the investor. The project will enhance trade efficiency between Zimbabwe and Mozambique, reducing congestion and delays. This improvement will facilitate smoother and faster movement of goods, which will boost local businesses and attract new investments. The increased trade activity will create job opportunities, reduce unemployment rates in the region. Additionally, the upgrade will also improve in terms of revenue collection for the government, which can be reinvested into local infrastructure and services. The project will improve the quality of life for local residents by reducing the time and costs associated with cross-border travel and trade. The project is also expected to enhance regional integration and cooperation, fostering a sense of community and shared economic goals. Furthermore, the reduction in congestion and improved infrastructure will likely lead to better safety and security at the border, benefiting both travelers and the residents. The economic benefits from the increased trade and investment will trickle down to various sectors of the economy, including transport, hospitality, and retail. Cabinet received reports on progress made in the implementation of priority projects for the third 100-day cycle of 2024 as presented by the Ministers of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training and the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development. The Minister of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training, Honorable Tinoda Machakaire, reported progress on projects under his purview as follows: that preparations for the Youth Empowerment Forum at Magamba Vocational Training, where over 10,000 youths from different provinces are expected to attend, is at an advanced stage. The awareness programs on drug and substance abuse reached an estimated 15,000 youths at various areas and also utilizing different platforms and jurisdictions. That over 1 million youths accessed drug and substance abuse information through a mega awareness campaign that was organized in Makonde. That the refurbishment of a male hostel at Magamba Vocational Training Center, which accommodates at least 80 students, is now 80% in terms of completion. The construction of the Sivomo Vocational Training Center is ongoing and is at 75% in terms of completion. That materials for the construction of the Kadoma Vocational Training Center have been secured and a contractor is on site. That 1,081 youths have been identified and allocated to institutions for community attachment, whilst youth from Vumba and Dadaya training centers have successfully managed to complete their training program and preparations for deployment are ongoing. An area covering 3 hectares at Magamba Vocational Training Center was planted with commercial beans, while an area covering 1 hectare was planted with commercial peas under the Tabudirira Vocational Training Center. The Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Honorable Felix Tapiwa Mona, reported progress on projects under his purview as follows: that the repairs and maintenance at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport in Harare is at 98% in terms of completion and will be completed this year. That the construction of the 3.8 kilometer for the cycle under the Harare Mashingo Bite Bridge road upgrade is complete and has been opened for traffic. The construction of the Mbudzi interchange in Harare currently stands at 77% in terms of completion. 2 bridges at Amalinda Road and Harare Drive missing link have been completed and opened to traffic. The Mashingo Glenora Loop was opened to traffic. The 1.6 kilometer road, the Amalinda Road, was completed and also opened for traffic. And the 750 meter Harare Drive missing link has been completed. That 10 kilometer surfacing of the 20 kilometer targeted under the Harare Kanyimba Road upgrading in Harare and Mashonaland Central provinces was completed and opened to traffic, and construction has been registered in terms of progress, which has reached 60% in terms of completion. And that the 8 kilometer road under the Shurugwi Mandamahwe road rehabilitation in Midlands province was commissioned and opened to traffic. Cabinet considered and noted the preparedness for the hosting of the extraordinary summit of SADC heads of state and government as presented by the Honorable Vice President Dr. CGDN Chiwenga. The nation is informed that an extraordinary summit of SADC heads of state and government is scheduled to be held in Harare from the 16th to the 20th of November 2024, primarily to address emerging issues of regional significance. The summit is also expected to be briefed on political events in the region, including the recent elections in Mozambique and Botswana and the upcoming polls in Namibia. Preparations for hosting are at an advanced stage, and the technical subcommittees have already started convening meetings to prepare for the extraordinary summit. The subcommittees will ride on the already established protocols which facilitated the successful hosting of the 44th SADC summit in order to ensure the seamless convening of the extraordinary summit. Cabinet considered and approved the memorandum of agreement between SADC member states regarding the establishment of a SADC Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency as presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi. To ensure universal access to sustainable modern energy by 2030, the government of Zimbabwe continues to explore and incorporate clean and efficient energy sources to meet the country's energy needs. To achieve this, the government initiates and promotes cooperation with private and public entities, regional and international bodies. The MOA between SADC member states regarding the establishment of a SADC Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency in Namibia will allow Zimbabwe to join the SADC region in facilitating access to modern and clean energy and improved energy security across the region by promoting market-based uptake of renewable energy and energy-efficient technologies. The cooperation will enable the creation and reinforcing of ecosystems for renewable energy development and deployment at national and regional level, development of technical facilities that can pilot and demonstrate replicable renewable energy applications, assistance in testing and standardization of energy efficient technologies, training and skills development, and the implementation of a global network of knowledge and expertise to be utilized for deployment. Cabinet considered and approved the accession of the trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights amendment protocol of 2025 as presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi. Zimbabwe is a member of the World Trade Organization and is party to its agreements. In January 2017, the protocol amending the trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights entered into force. This provides for medicines to be procured under special compulsory license for export to countries particularly reliant on overseas supplies to meet the needs of their patients. It secures a legal pathway for access to affordable medicines as a permanent part of the agreement, and it creates a very valuable public health safeguard. Cabinet considered and approved the proposed themes for the 65th edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair as presented by the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Honorable N.M. Ndlovu. The nation is informed that the 2025 ZITF will be held from the 22nd to the 26th of April 2025. The exhibition will spotlight strategies essential to accelerate economic development and will catalyze the embracing of trade opportunities as provided for by the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. The 2025 ZITF will be private sector led, and the investment and export development programs will play a central role. Given the national vision of developing the economy to ensure the achievement of an upper middle income economy by 2030, Cabinet approved industrialization, crafting an integrated economic landscape as the theme for the event. The theme emphasizes the importance of establishing a strong and competitive industrial base in Zimbabwe to drive economic growth, create jobs, and enhance the country's global competitiveness. Cabinet received an update on the launch of Zimbabwe's second satellite, which the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology, Honorable Frederick Chava, presented. The nation is advised that Zimbabwe launched its second Earth observation satellite, ZIMSTAR-2, into orbit today, the 5th of November 2024. The ZIMSTAR-2 satellite was launched from Russia. The satellite was designed and manufactured through a collaborative research program between the Zimbabwe National Geospatial and Space Agency and the Southwest State University in Russia. The satellite was designed for Earth observations and data collection in agriculture, environmental protection, and natural resources management. The ZIMSTAR-2 will monitor the Earth and support missions that keep track of crop health, predict yields, and identify any deficiencies. Developed utilizing modern technologies, ZIMSTAR-2 demonstrates high efficiency and reliability and is a key milestone in the development of our nation as we work towards Vision 2030. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for presenting today's cabinet highlights. We now move to the first three questions from you colleagues, and then we ask the ministers to respond. Then we move to the last three questions. Over to you, colleagues. Yes.
My name is Tingete from Spain International News Agency. My question goes to Minister Muswele. Minister of State, the private sector have imported almost 900,000 million grain from outside the country. Last time Minister Masuku was saying part of the importation is coming from South America. Did they manage to do so this time around?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair Secretary. My name is Mukute Chibwete from the Herald. My question is directed to the Minister of Finance. What is the expected timeline for the construction and operational phases of the project of the Nyamapanda Road? The follow-up question to that, what plans are in place for the long-term maintenance of the road once it's operational? With your indulgence,
You want to follow up?
yes, it's a different question.
All right, okay.
The other question is direct to the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education. What advancements in technology or capabilities does this satellite incorporate compared to its predecessor?
Yes.
What was your question?
What advancements in technology or capabilities does this new satellite incorporate compared to its predecessor, the satellite, which was satellite 1?
Thank you, Chief Secretary. My name is Ewan Chisiwa from ZBC. My question is directed to the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education. We have seen quite a number of good innovations that are being done from colleges and other institutions of higher learning. How far have you gone in terms of providing startups for those innovations not to die a natural death? Since we have seen so many innovations from robots to everything. How far have you gone in terms of supporting those innovations in the mainstream industry?
Over to you, Honourable Minister.
Okay. Thank you, Chief Secretary. The first question, I'll deal with it. But I will allow Professor Mtulengwe to deal with the timeline for the Nyamapanda Road and the maintenance plan for the Nyamapanda Road. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you very much, Chigwere, for the question. Chigwere from Harold. Two questions regarding construction time as well as maintenance plans for the Nyamapanda Road. First of all, this road is about 232 kilometers long, and it goes to a very important border that takes travelers and economic agents through Zimbabwe into Malawi. So it's a very important road, and the project, by the way, includes both the road and then the border post as well. So the expectation is that this project will take 3 years to complete from the date of signing the concession agreement, which will then be agreed to as from the day the negotiations begin to take place. Once that is concluded, signed off, then it takes 3 years to construct this road as well as the border post to allow for easy access through the border into Malawi. So in terms of maintenance, this project is a build, own, operate and transfer arrangement, what you call a BOT arrangement, and it includes maintenance as part of it. So over the next 25 years, it's a 25-year concession, the project promoter, which is Hena Resources Private Limited, will maintain this road as part of that arrangement. And the government will obviously only deal with maintenance issues after the 25 years that is envisaged. But of course, should the project promoter recoup their profits well before that, then government's takeover of maintenance may happen sooner than the 25 years. But as things stand, the contractor will, or the promoter will maintain the road over the 25-year concession period. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. The second two questions are in terms of the ZIMSAT 2 to Honorable Dr. Shawa, in terms of the advancement of technology and also about the support in terms of innovations that have taken place across all universities. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mukudzi, for your interesting questions. I think first and foremost, we should really salute ourselves for being able to be part of the science and technology that is able to send satellites into the atmosphere and to use those satellites to observe what we want to know about what what is happening to our Earth as a result of what's happening in the skies. First and foremost, the intention is really to get to know how the movement up there affects what we are doing on Earth. And in this particular case, it's the need to understand how the weather is going to be affected, and therefore to advise appropriately the farmers on what's coming. Also to be able to predict when the El Nino is coming or when the El Nina is coming, whichever, the satellites will be able to inform the meteorology department, and the meteorology department will be able to inform our farmers on what to expect. And this alone is extremely useful for purposes of our own food security and so on. But in addition, the satellites are also able to glean into our Earth in terms of minerals, and we're able to know exactly where what minerals, what ores are in general situations. And so it is extremely important that Zimbabweans are able to do that. And you know that we don't have to go anywhere far. We have an Earth station in Mazoe, and this is what we use for observation to get to know what's happening. And this Earth station is very important. It is the same Earth station that is being utilized by our second satellite, is utilized by our first satellite. So we continue to gain information on our own from above our own country with time. So that is extremely important. The advancement in technology is also, in collaboration with other systems, is also something that we really must appreciate and applaud our president for respecting science so much. The first satellite, as you know, we launched that in collaboration with the Japanese. And our students who were in Japan gained a lot of insights on how to go about it. This second satellite has been launched also in collaboration with our presidents, our students on the presidential scholarship in Russia, together with this Southwestern Western Union University in the Russian Federation. So it is first just the accumulation of knowledge, the ability to use this knowledge to scan your country on your own, and I look forward to a situation where the next satellite will be put together completely by Zimbabweans, which has not been the case up to now. You ask how far the startups are doing. The startups give room to young men and women in the universities and tertiary institutions to innovate, to dream about what they want to produce, and to proceed to do so. And in this regard, before they can test their dreams in real, they have to develop patents. And these patents are developed and then they are nursed to see whether they can produce a service or a product. And in this regard, I think I understand that we have more than 500 patents now developed by our tertiary institutions. These patents will have to migrate from the university hubs to parks, production parks, to factories, to companies they can do so either they are bought by those who want to use them and produce a product or a service, or they are established by some investors who want those products or services produced. We have to keep encouraging our students to migrate their research findings into patents and into real productions in factories. Mind you, these patents are also available to those who may want to purchase them and use them to produce products for themselves. So they are quite open. A number of such patents are available. So we look forward, like you do, to a situation where industrial parks will be produced, will be built on the basis of these patents which our universities are producing. I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shara. To my colleague, the private sector has been importing from many different countries. I want to empower you with the statistics to assist you in terms of the resilience building exercise, in order to ensure that as a government we take care of the vulnerable, including the urban population, and also in terms of stock feed production. The current statistic is that 974,658 metric tons of maize, wheat and wheat flour has been imported since April 2024. And the requirements are in order to cater for food requirements until March 2025. A total of 807 import permits were issued to 420 companies in order to import 4,131,260 metric tons of maize by March 2025. The issuance of import permits 4 times the estimated deficit is being put in place in order to stabilize the prices and also to eliminate arbitrage opportunities. So this is the current statistics as part of the resilience building mechanism to cater for the population of Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ministers, for responding to those questions. Let us move to the last round of 3 questions. The last 3 questions, yes.
Constant Komo, freelance journalist. With your indulgence, Chief Secretary, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
The first one is, Honorable, we want to understand how bad is the situation in Mozambique. Secondly, the second one goes to Honorable Shara. We wanted to find out the monetary value involved in the launch of the second ZINSAT. Thank you.
You wanted to find out?
The first is how bad is the situation in Mozambique.
And the
The
second
second one is the monetary value that is involved in the second launch of the ZINSAT.
Yes.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. My name is Gretina Manchingora from the News Agency. Yes, a record winter wheat output this year, but is the country still on course to achieve the 600,000 metric tons that was targeted this year? And what is the impact? What would this, Bamba facing? What will be its impact on this national serial of import bill next year? Thank you.
Yes, the last one.
Thank you so much, Chief Secretary. My question is directed to, my name is Theophilus Chuma, by the way, from ZBC. My question is directed to the Minister of Transport. I've seen some remarkable progress on the Mbudzi interchange, and figures at 77% are quite impressive. But I understand the timeframes have shifted now and again. What is the current timelines that are now targeted for completion of the interchange? And seeing that there will be smooth flow of traffic from the Mbudzi interchange into the city center, what are the overall plans in terms of ensuring there are bypasses into the central business district? I understand there were plans to have bypass on probably the Rockman's area and also the SBC area. Are those plans still on course, and when do we expect the implementation of that? Thank you.
Over to you, Minister.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. I will allow the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, perhaps working together with the Minister of Finance. The question was, what is the monetary value for ZIMSAT 2? Over to you, Minister Shah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nkomo. I can't be very exact on this. Maybe the Minister of Finance will help me, but the initial materials put together is to the value of 600,000 US dollars. There could be other incidentals that are associated with this amount, but also the actual work put into it by the various technical people has not been costed into this amount. But we will give you the figures once the information is clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I confirm 600,000 US dollars for the launch of the satellite and its development. It's a very similar figure that we spent on ZIMSAT 1 working with Japan. So that's the ballpark figure. So it's been quite cost effective for what we are achieving and what we're able to do with this satellite. First of all, the skill acquisition, the development frontier knowledge in space technology, and as well as the usefulness of the satellite in gathering information, Earth observation, tracking climate change issues. I think you'll agree with me that the value of the satellite in terms of the benefits from it far exceed the meager cost of 600,000. 600,000 is efficient in the first place. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Honorable Mona, the question is about the bypasses, the Mbudzi interchange. If you can elaborate further about the Mbudzi interchange, Honorable Mona.
Thank you, Comrade Chair, and let me thank my good brother Theophilus for that very important question, which will then allow me to articulate precisely and allay the fears of the people of Zimbabwe. And to start by apologizing, yes, you talked about the shift in dates pertaining to the completion of that project, which was very conditional, suspensive, in the essence that we had compensation that was supposed also to make sure we to adequately compensate those property owners within the precincts of the interchange. And I'm glad that under the wise leadership of His Excellency Comrade Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa, we've managed to pay in full the property owners. And our target hasn't changed. This year in December, I'm to say to those people who will be going for their Christmas, you'll be enjoying, especially going to Masvingo and coming from Masvingo over the new roads. If you have seen now, we've started the installation of pre-stressed beams, where we are working on bridge number 2 and 3. Out of the 15 bridges, those are still the remaining 2 bridges. But I'm happy that you've highlighted a very important point pertaining to decongestion of the great city. And the plan is, like you alluded to, the ZBC Mbari, we are going to have a mini interchange.
Actually, along the road, we've got 5 interchanges. So at the ZBC, you'll see a mini interchange, and Rothman's Willow Road, we are going to be having another mini interchange, so that we decongest those that are actually moving within Mari area, and those actually going out of town will be taking advantage of those mini interchanges. And maybe to rehabilitate the existing flyover at Simon Mazoroze, where you are getting also social media reports that it's no longer sound, it's still sound, the bridge and the flyover, but we are going to redo it again. And we also have 2 more additional interchanges in Mashingo. So basically this will be our 5 interchanges. And as we speak in terms of progress, like I indicated, we opened the Amalinda, which is also a loop road, and we've finished again the Harare Missing Link Bridge. We haven't opened it yet because we want to connect to the roundabout. But the road is done, the bridge is done, and very soon we'll be opening that bridge to traffic. And these initiatives are also there to buttress and also ease the congestion, especially within our great city. But I want to say to the people of Zimbabwe, yes, the project has taken long, but find peace and joy that as we move towards the end of the year, you will see tremendous progress and you'll be enjoying the spaghetti road at the end of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister Mona. To my sister, the numbers that I elaborated, it's a comparison in terms of the winter wheat production, where we've reached a record as at 1 November 2024, about 106,238 hectares had been harvested, giving a total of 518,502 metric tons of wheat, surpassing the 465,000 metric tons achieved in 2023. And to date, 75,000 metric tons of wheat has been delivered to the Grain Marketing Board. The remarkable performance of the winter wheat program attests to the foresight, planning and organizational capacity led by His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Nandako. So this is the comparison that we keep doing extremely well. That's the statistic. My brother Costa Nkomo, of course we do not communicate on behalf of the government of Mozambique, but from the reports that we've received, the situation is very stable and peaceful. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Honorable Minister. We have come to the end of today's post-cabinet press briefing. Thank you very much, colleagues, for the questions. We meet next week.